I've done a lot of these conferences over the past year or so, but this is the first time I've been translated into another language. So I wouldn't wish that job upon anyone, just given the fact that I tend to speak very quickly because I get quite excited about my project. As Gilbert had mentioned, and I'm going to pull up my screen here for you, we're after big opportunities in the state of Nevada, and you know, that was our mission statement, you know, looking to acquire large packages of land on prolific gold and silver belts in Nevada. And we actually picked up a project in February of this year, which completely changed the game for us. So now we're marching towards realizing what our statement was when we joined the company. So I'm going to make some forward-looking statements, and that's because I've got a lot to look forward to. As Gilbert mentioned, we've been on one gigantic run since the start of the summer, and that's due to some really impressive drill results we had from this new project that we picked up in February that I was telling you about. We added over $100 million to our market cap in the span of about 2 weeks. On the back of one drill result, and that was from our very first drill hole into our new project. What that did for us was it not only set us in a league of our own. I mean, it was one of the best drill results that they've had in all of this year in Nevada, which is, you know, which is the place to be in the gold mining and silver mining space. But it also brought in investment from Eric Sprott, who's got to be the biggest silver and gold bug in the world, and he wrote a $5 million check into our company via private placement right after that very first result. So Blackrock has two properties. The two things they have in common is they're both focused on ultra high grades, and they're both focused on multi-million ounce potential. We have a gold project, which is funnily enough called Silver Cloud in northern Nevada, which is grassroots exploration. That was the flagship of the company when I joined. But as of February this year, we picked up our second project, which is called Tonopah West, and that has become the main value driver for the company. Tonopah West represents a consolidation of one of the largest and one of the highest grade silver districts in all of North America. This time 100 years ago, Tonopah Silver District would have been one of the most significant precious metals mining districts in all of the United States. And as I said, you know, our very first drill hole into the project is what changed the game and put us on the map. That hole intersected about 30 meters of 1 kilogram per ton silver equivalent in the very first drill hole into the project since production shut down on it in around 1930. This is a district that is renowned for the grades, as I was saying. Over the entire production history, which was roughly between 1900 and 1930, the district was producing at an average grade of over 2 kilograms per ton silver equivalent. So anytime you're reporting precious metals grades in kilograms per ton, it means you're on to something. We're very much leveraged to drilling and drill results. So far, we've put out 2 sets of results highlighting 10 drill holes. We've hit 9 different significant intercepts, ranging from 1.5 meters to 30 meters in thickness, with grades from 300 grams per ton silver equivalent up to 3,600 grams per ton silver equivalent. So we've got tremendous success so far with our drilling. 70% of our drill holes that have been drilled have hit significant intersections. The ones that didn't, most of them actually missed their target entirely, meaning they deviated. So we're firing on extremely high cylinders here. The best part is the last time we put out drill results was about a month ago, meaning we've got news lined up very shortly, with more drill results. And as I said, we've had an incredible hit rate so far. You know, we've established that we know what we're doing, and hopefully that continues with the future results, which are impending. Now, I mentioned that all of our valuation, all of the focus for the last few months has been on our new Tonopah project. Because of that, we don't want our Silver Cloud project to get overshadowed. So about 2 weeks ago, we announced that we plan to spin off Silver Cloud into a brand new company for all of Blackrock shareholders to own. So we're moving forward with this process. Effectively, what this means is if you buy 3 shares in Blackrock, you'll get 1 share in the new company. So it's another reason we think it'll be able to unlock a lot of value in Silver Cloud. This time last year, Silver Cloud alone commanded about $20 to $30 million valuation in terms of market cap. Today, we see no value being given to it in the share price. So we want to create another vehicle with gold, pushing $2,000 and silver looking like it wants to go through 30 soon. That's something to look forward to. But I'm going to tell you more about our Tonopah project, because at the end of the day, though people think about Nevada for being a gold jurisdiction, if anyone's been down there, you'll see that it's referred to as the Silver State. And it's referred to the Silver State for 2 different deposits. One of them is the Comstock Lode, and the other one is the Tonopah Silver District, of which we are now by far the largest claim holder in this district. We control more than half of it. So when I say district, it's the same as would be the same as me saying we control half of the Golden Triangle or half of Red Lake. We've put together a series of properties that were this time 100 years ago owned and operated by multiple publicly traded operating mining companies. We've brought all of these properties together into one project. So there's lots of different targets on this project, and these targets represent past producing historic mines. As I said, this is one of the largest silver districts in all of North America, produced 174 million ounces of silver, nearly 2 million ounces of gold. But it's a little misleading there, because it was producing at really high levels up until World War I, at which point production fell off a cliff. After that was the onset of the Great Depression, and that really was the last hurrah for this district, because precious metals prices took a big turn, and I'm going to show you that shortly. This district was literally discovered back in the gold rush sort of era. It was by a prospector and his mule walking in the middle of nowhere. Now this isn't the middle of nowhere. This is halfway between Las Vegas and Reno. The highway runs right through town. In fact, the town of Tonopah is the heart and soul of the Walker Lane districts, one of the largest gold belts in the world. And Tonopah is home to where lots of the geologists and mining engineers stay. So as I said, production really fell off due to World War I, and you can see that reflected in the prices here, in the production levels here. So the red line on this chart indicates the total average amount of gold of production based on a gold equivalent basis, and you'll see they started producing in right after it was discovered in 1900, and it went straight up to producing roughly over 450,000 gold equivalent ounces per year, right up until about World War I. And then it just started falling and falling. Obviously, people got called out of the mines to go and fight. But really, the nail in the coffin was in the mid-1920s, when silver prices went from $1 an ounce down to 35 cents an ounce within the span of a few years. It really sent a big wrench into all of the operating mining companies, and it sent many of them into bankruptcy. Luckily, we don't have that issue these days, as silver prices looks like they're performing really well. With grades like Tonopah, 2 kilograms per ton was the average grade produced, average head grade. It's really easy to see why it became one of the most significant mining districts in all of the US in those 20 good years it had. The question is not the significance, how significant it was when it was producing. It was how much did the historic miners leave for us when precious metals prices took a big fall in around 1920. They didn't stop because they ran out of gold and silver. They stopped because of low metals prices, and we're the first group to go back in about 90 years, consolidate the district, and then drill into these historic workings. So we're literally drilling into past producing mines. this isn't a really an exploration play as it is more of a real estate consolidation. We're the first group to get this package put together. And when we signed our deal in February, we brought all three of these parcels together. You'll see those black little notations scattered over the map there. Those represent historic mine shafts on our property. We have a lot of data to work with here. So really it's not grassroots exploration. What we're doing is mine expansion style drilling. You'll see that the town of Tonopah is right next door to us. That's almost too good to be true from an infrastructure perspective. A lot of companies talk about their proximity to highways or the fact that there's electricity. This sign here says food, hotels, and casinos. We literally have casinos within walking distance, let alone hotels, let alone food, let alone a highway going right through town. It's too good to be true. So what we've done is we've got 4 different target areas we're drilling into. We've announced 2 different discoveries so far on our property. And what that means is we've effectively shown new life to 2 past producing mines on our property. And we're currently drilling our 3rd past producing mine as we speak, which is called the Ohio target. As I mentioned, we're drilling right now, and we've the last time we had results out was about a month ago. So I've got some new results which are burning a hole in my pocket, and those are coming down, going to be released imminently. In terms of what we see the potential upside here, we think there's up to about 6 million tons of roughly 1,300 to 2 kilogram per ton silver. What that means is we think we've got somewhere between anywhere between 2 to 400 million ounces of high-grade silver, and that's what we're targeting, and that's what we're working towards. Here's just a quick visual representation, a cross-section of what we drilled into. That hole number 1 was our very first drill hole into what's known as the Victor vein. That's where we hit 30 meters of roughly 1 kilogram per ton silver equivalent. That's what we were targeting. We told the market going into this that where they stopped mining at this mine, the vein was going to be about 24 meters thick. Well, that's what we hit on our very first drill hole. In fact, we actually hit 2 other vein zones, which even the historic miners didn't even know were there. And one of those veins was the single highest grade intercept we've had yet on the property, assaying at over 3 kilograms per ton silver equivalent. It had 18 grams gold in it. This is our second discovery that we made. This second target, called the Denver Paymaster in Bermuda, represents the last producing mine in the district when production shut down. We had reason to believe, because in fact they did development work to continue mining further, but they never got around to pulling out the ore, that there was going to be lots of stuff left over for us. So what did we do? We targeted the veins right where they stopped mining them, and we've hit 4 different zones in this area. 2 of them are over 1 kilogram per ton, over 1,500 grams per ton silver equivalent. And what we've done is we've shown, once again, new life to this 3rd historic mine. We're going to be drilling our Silver Cloud property very, very soon, this month. Silver Cloud this is the one that's going to be spun out. It happens to be 45 square kilometers in the richest gold mining belt region in North America. It's at the tip of the Carlin Trend, right where it intersects the Northern Nevada Rift. So on one side, you've got some of the largest mines in the world, and directly beside us and directly on strike of us are 2 of the highest grade mines in Nevada. We're going to be drilling a new target on this. It's called the Northeast Veins target. It's directly next to the Hollister mine. Hollister was a set of veins which run east-west. They were mined right up to our property boundary, and on our side of the property boundary, we found 8 veins outcropping at surface. 2 years ago, I read a mining.com article which said that Hollister was the 2nd highest grade producing mine in the world that year. They were producing at 34 grams per ton gold. So that's a really compelling second target, but really what we're doing right now at Tonopah is what's going to be captivating the market's interest going forward and through the end of the year. We've probably got about 30,000 meters of drilling planned between now and the end of the year. We've only released about 10 drill holes. We've completed something like 30 so far. So there's lots of assays pending. And as you've seen, I mean, We've released 10 drill holes. We've reported 9 big intersects. 4 of those intersects have assayed over a kilogram per ton. So with us, it doesn't take much at the grades we're hitting to build up a serious potential resource, and that's what we want. So with that, I'll hand it over to Gilbert and see if there's any questions.
Thank you, Andrew. So let's start off by a few questions here. The first one coming from Donnie. Do you see the growth of environmentalism in the States as a potential problem there?
No, none. Nevada is probably the best mining jurisdiction you could be in the United States. The United States is a big gold producer, but 80% of that production comes from Nevada. So literally, I mean, it's the lifeblood of their state. It's their main industry. And beyond that, what we're doing, we're looking at very small footprints, ultra high margin, high grade underground mines. So we're not exploring to build a big low grade open pit operation right at surface. What we're doing is going to be targeted, working towards developing a targeted underground mine. So there's very little disturbance, very little in the way of environmental issue.
Good. This question from Franklin is a simple one. Can you drill at Tonopah West all year round?
Yeah, where you can go all year round. It's honestly the best conditions you could possibly have in the mining business. There's literally a town next door. You can walk and go get a slice of pizza. There's an A&W there. I mean, it's pretty good.
Okay. Question from Marx here. Did the COVID-19 impact your drilling or your activities there?
So in Nevada, unlike most other places with large silver districts like Mexico or Latin America, which got shut down entirely, Nevada, not a single mine shut down because of COVID. Mining is deemed an essential service in Nevada. So honestly, they're not going to. COVID didn't really make anyone lose a step there.
Good. And the question from the Chinese feed here. From Don Kim, who are some of your major shareholders of the company?
Well, I'm certainly one of them. Eric Sprott would be among our top shareholders. We really turned the corner from retail to institutionally held around this summer. We raised about $12 million in 2 different financings, and most of those were placed with large institutions. I believe we've got the largest gold fund in Europe as one of our largest shareholders. Plethora Precious Metals owns a big block as well. So we've made a lot of retail shareholders a lot of money in this past run, but we've got some very big shareholders with deep pockets who are in it for the long term and see the potential.
Okay, another question from Austin here. Austin Yip. He was asking, you probably talk about it, maybe explain a bit more. The Silver Cloud seems to have a lot of mines historically there. Why do you think you can still make new discoveries?
Yeah, great question. It's too good to be true in the sense that Silver Cloud is almost like a time capsule because it's 45 square kilometers around some of the biggest mines in North America and the world, certainly some of the highest grade mines right next door to us. And it hasn't been drilled since about 2003 or 2004 before we got our hands on it because the previous operators had a really, really bad deal on it. There was a full 10% net smelter royalty on it, meaning no one in their right mind was going to drill the thing, no matter how exciting the targets are. We've got what Blackrock was able to do was rip up that lease of which all of these other royalties were attached to it and renegotiate the cleanest deal that anyone's ever had on it. So now what we have is we're the first group in like 15 years to go in and drill it. We have a way better understanding of the region now too because of discoveries which have happened around us since it was last drilled, and now we're able to put that knowledge to use, and we're trying to really swing big on it. So we've got 3,500 meter 14 drill hole program planned there, targeting this area directly west of Hollister, which is one of the highest grade mines in North America. We think we might have the western extension of Hollister, so we'll know that very quickly, but if we do, could be a good discovery.
Sure, yeah. So maybe just one last question here from David. You have no resource yet. What's the potential resource you will have over there?
Well, I mean, we keep drilling the way we're drilling. The sky's the limit. Honestly, the grades that we're seeing are world class so far. And now what we're trying to do is expand the footprint of mineralization. So on these first few sets of results, they've been exciting just because we're showing the market that we know where the veins are and the potential grades. But the most exciting results are going to be the step out drill holes, the ones where we're starting to show scale and volume and size, generating strike length. Those are the ones that are going to be coming out next. Those are the ones that really have the potential to show the market just how big we can be. And I'd say anyone that wants to be a part of that should be looking to establish a position very shortly, because those are going to be coming out imminently.
Thank you, Andrew, for answering all the questions from the audience. Thank you for your time here today.
Great to be here. Thank you all. Cheers.
Thank you.